Hi, I'm Bailey. This is Bailey Talks, where I talk, you listen, and hopefully we both learn something along the way. No scripts, no filters, just unique conversations. Let's see where we end up. Here's a good question, opening question.
Yeah.
What influence do you reckon the interview with Trump had on the election?
With who? Which one? Sorry.
Joe Rogan and Trump. Do you reckon, is there a chance that was the difference?
Absolutely.
Because you look at how many views that got, like, is it 50 mil? I think it's like...
Maybe even more.
It could be 57, 60 mil.
I actually think the cherry on top was Elon.
Yeah,
I
true.
think that was the sealer. Like, Trump was obviously massive and it needed to be done. It's been coming for
It was cool.
a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Even 4 years ago, he was close. And then to have him on, and then JD, and then Elon, the stuff he was spitting out was like, it kind of sealed the deal when it comes to like, look, even if you're like not completely, all for Trump, it's like you're voting for the 5,000 people that he employs. Like you can look past the ego, look past the, you don't like his personality, but it's like, do you know what I mean?
Bro, it's so crazy. Right now, there's such a divide with politics, like the left and the right.
Yeah.
I find it so fascinating who Trump has affiliated himself with, like Rogan's, Elon Musk. You look at like Dana White, the Nelk Boys, like these massive groups in America who are just like powering through. I'd love to know like what influence that has on his votes recently, because obviously back into power this week.
Yeah, I think it
massive.
comes down to being someone that actually takes that on board. Trump understands that there's a finger on the pulse when it comes to these people.
Yeah.
Like Aiden Ross, crumb to me. Don't really like him.
Yeah.
But
Streamers.
Yeah. And that's where...
Bro, but they're so big in America.
They're huge.
Like Kai Cenat,
Yeah, massive.
Ross, Fusi. You see him in Australia, bro?
Yeah, what is that
Bro,
guy
is he all there?
No, he's not all there. He hasn't been there
I saw him in hospital. Was he in hospital?
Yeah,
It's
yeah. He's had some...
What's Luke
The
Irwin
people-
doing there?
Yeah, bro, I saw that.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Sorry. leak the hospital. Yeah, why are you hanging out with Fauci? I'd rather hang out with Luke Irwin than Fauci. Fauci's a
I'd rather
weirdo.
fucking walk into a
He
brick wall.
punched
I
that guy
reckon.
the other day in the of his team
Luke
in the
did?
house. No, Fauci
Fusi-
did.
oh,
Fusi
really?
or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's been around forever though.
He
Like,
has, man.
A long
he was
time.
almost one of the OGs.
Yeah,
before
I
it
reckon
all.
he was up there like a lot. Yeah, I remember watching.
And then
like,
what happened
very
to him?
early on?
Did he go bankrupt? Did
Yeah, he goes through mental health
Yeah,
things all the time. You know,
There's
like
something there that
he?
is
Fusi
like...
Tube.
It's a little bit...
Bro, he's just mental. The way he talks, runs around with his bald head, wearing shit.
that is a lifestyle you're signed up for.
Yeah.
You can quit that whenever you want.
Yeah,
but
you can.
He needs to fund a lifestyle. Like it's all just smoke and mirrors. Like it's all
True.
very It's
Do you want
all-
some, bro?
I can't really
Yeah,
get
if that's
around
all right,
it.
bro.
But
I'll just have a little bit.
Surely you've seen the ice speed versus the American sprinter. Did you see that?
yeah,
Bro.
I think
Quick. Wait, he's
So quick.
he's quick, but I reckon
kept with him.
I reckon Noah
Reckon
done the
just-
right thing.
Do you
and
reckon?
just
Reckon?
beat
He
him,
was cruising?
and then was
At the
like,
end.
yeah, but this guy is like nighttime just in he like. Think about the preparation you go for into an actual
100%.
Olympic race.
Yeah.
Like Blake might beat me over 50 meters if I just look at you and say, let's just do it.
Yeah.
But if you train
yeah.
for something, he like you can beat anyone.
Yeah.
Just like you could beat someone on their day.
True.
You know
Well,
what
it's
I mean?
like
I
the
just-
the elite level of
But it's
sprinting
fast.
as well. It's like
Like-
0.01 of a second would separate this
I'm the
many
best.
people from like this many
For
people.
sure.
Like it's such a small margin for.
Yeah.
But 50 meters is like.
You
know,
need to
there'd be a lot of people
that's
who
when you
could
get
run a
into
quick 50
third,
meter, you
fourth
know?
gear. That's when people get into like
Yeah, true.
holding
Well,
sprints.
Usain, bro, his last like he would start and then just oots,
Yeah.
oots,
and then you're up, and then you're just like a gazelle.
bro. Usain is a gazelle.
Yeah.
Did you see what about the college runner? Did you see that on
Nah.
the all the NFL pages, or it was on forget where it was, but he was that quick, mate. It was like one.
Actually, I
of the
think I
quickest.
did
It was
see
like a
that.
record
Broke
or
some
something
records.
for
Yeah,
over 40 meter dash.
Yeah, I did see
Really?
that.
Mate.
In what, a combine, or was it
No,
like?
it's just
Bro,
like
they're-
halftime of NFL.
Oh, really?
Bro, some of their big, not props, but we'll call them props
They're
because we watch
quick.
footy because we
Big
like
dick.
footy,
Yeah.
footy. Bro,
Those
they're-
guys can run.
Yeah.
bro, they can move.
For how
Hey.
big they are, right?
Bro.
Over 40.
They're just a big muscle.
Mate.
Like their neck is just.
Have you been
a
watching
neck.
much NFL?
I watch a little
I've been
bit.
getting into it a little bit, bro.
no.
I think
It's a crazy
I used to
sport.
watch it with my dad, like on a Thursday night. It used to be on ESPN, and
Yeah,
like when
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like 13, 14, used to love Green Bay, and when Aaron Rodgers was like in his prime.
Yeah.
And then you revisit it every now and then, but yeah, I never really got back into it.
American sports, hey. It's like that time of year where it's like NBA's pumping, NFL's pumping, footy season's done.
Yeah. I am a massive NBA fan.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Love the NBA.
Who's your team? Are you Celtics?
No, I can't stand the Celtics.
True.
Not for any reason either.
No.
It's just like I just don't have an affiliation with them. Like I just don't really like their players. I think I've always looked up to Kyrie Irving.
Bro.
Like as
Bit
a
different.
person.
Runs his own race.
Yeah. And then to just be...
Gets criticised.
Yeah, everyone, like absolutely everyone. The head of like the Brooklyn Nets at the time was like absolutely bad-mouthing him, telling him how bad of a person he was for not taking the vaccine and everything. And he just goes, all right, like I'll just keep doing my thing. And then, I don't know, it's just like someone that sticks to their own word no matter what. I just, and that was way before, like we share the same name kind of, like it was just like I love him, play for the Cavs, love what he done with the Cavs. Then he went to Celtics, which was just a huge mistake.
I forgot he went there.
Went to Brooklyn. And now he's with the Mavs.
Bro, it's so crazy.
Which is crazy because he's aging like a wine.
Man, at that elite level, like dealing with pressure at that level and the press and your fan base, like Blake, you can probably relate a little bit to this with golf and that and sport. Dealing with pressure, like it's something you probably have to learn over time. You can't really teach dealing with pressure, handling criticism, all that sort of shit.
Definitely like learning from experience. And I'm still... It's crazy. One of the craziest things is just like learning over and over. And it's like you'll go up a level and you feel comfortable at a level. You might not have been there for, a year. In golf, it's pretty crazy game, right?
Yeah.
And then you get back into that situation and it feels different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's just like an ongoing, it's never like you get comfortable winning a tournament and then say like a year later you haven't been in that situation for a while, you get back into it and then all of a sudden it's like that feeling, you might be even more nervous, you know what I mean? It's never like you've got it under control, you know what I mean?
Never goes away entirely.
No, it never goes away entirely.
How do you handle like nerves and pressure and things like that? Like
I think
because it's all mental, right?
Like, yeah, absolutely, it's all mental. And I would say that absolutely, for me, it's just like literally breathing and stuff. There's so much time in golf when you're just like, you're on the first tee and there's that many people watching you and it's a tough shot and there's wind hard off the left or whatever, something that you may not like. And it's like, what can I control? Like my pre-shot routine, always related to like the boys kicking like conversions. It's like, routine, just do that. I do it that much that you're just, while you're making sure you execute that, every step is perfect. You're not thinking about, I can hear old mate in the background whispering to his mate that, it's a sunny day. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
It's so the more you're engaged in that, it's just like, I guess it's nearly like it's like a dance. It's like a meditation. And I feel like when you, that actually is how you can achieve that flow state that everyone talks about. Yeah. So,
bro, golf is such a crazy game, Kyle. Like golf is just like me and you play, mate, at a very low. Well, I'm not going to undersell ourselves at a moderate level. Moderate
I'll
level.
undersell myself. You don't need to do that.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
mate.
that's right.
We've played golf the last couple of years, mate. Honestly, it is the fucking toughest sport. Like, you sort of you get a new level of appreciation for the pros, like what Blake goes through, his career.
Absolutely.
Sorry, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, that's what kind of drew me to Blake when we first met, which was probably like, I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe or something. And it was like, at the time I was doing photography and like, we were kind of in similar paths where it's like, they're both not very popular things to do. But then like I was watching him play golf and I was like, far out, like how dedicated you are to your craft, which is like one of the, if not the hardest sport in the world for me personally, about how much is happening, how much you have to be right to execute something for the next one to then work out. And that was kind of like when I was really in the midst of like learning photography and stuff. So it's like exact same as golf. If you don't get out and do something, you're not going to get better. Like you have to be out, kind of doing the reps, doing everything like that. So it's for as long as I've known Blake and how dedicated he is, and that's why he's one of the best in Australia at the moment. Like it takes a different type of mindset as well, and that's what I think Blake's got one of the best mindsets in the world. Like in the person I know.
Nah, he's the best in the world, man. Nah, he's better than me, man.
Best in
and that is what creates an athlete. And that's like you can touch base with Kalen, obviously. Like it's a different breed of mind state.
It is definitely mentality.
When it comes to like how to shrug things off, move on. Like, I don't know. When we first met, and we just kind of clicked off that because it was like, our time will come when it comes to like things that aren't popular. And then like Blake used to tell me like, you could walk on a golf course on a Saturday or a Sunday, there'd be no one out there. But like, as time progresses and like no one sees Blake throughout his years hitting balls in the wet, like, and then all of a sudden he rocks up and he's hitting these shots when you're like, oh, far out, I wish I could do that. But it feels the same to me. A swing feels the same to me. Just like a photo of this on a camera looks the same. It's taking everything else in. Bro,
craziest thing, like, obviously me and Blake were forced to be friends because I'm dating his sister, right? So it's different for you because like you
just do what you're told, Bailey. That's
right. Exactly right, bro. Yeah, say the right things, mate. Don't worry, darling. But like I'm pretty lucky because like I met Blake through Simi and met their family and that, and me and Blake obviously got along pretty quickly, pretty early. I think we definitely see the world in some ways very much the same.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, Blake, because I did want to talk a little bit about your pro golf. Not too much, but just a tiny bit.
Nah, let's get into it. The weeds of it.
You've had a pretty crazy few years, like success. Like you've hit some big highs, you've had some lows, injury. Like if we were to like draw a graph like on the table and it was like your mindset of like success, failing, and all in between, it would be a line that would fucking probably run something like this.
Yeah.
For you, what's that been like over the last couple of years?
First of all, I think that it just sums up the game that I play because I've had so much time to think about it, and it's nearly like growing up. I think the hardest thing for me was like growing up. I worked so hard. I had the results. I was always, I wouldn't say always the best, but like I had a real good record all through the my teenage years. Amateur golf. I guess what I'm trying to say is I've always worked hard and just got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, just like, I still don't even know what it was. But just a few poor results, probably a lack of the 1%ers that I would absolutely never miss.
Yeah.
And they can they might be just a thing that you miss every now and again, but it comes back to bite you.
Yeah.
And, I would just definitely say that even like the injury and things like that, I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, I'd never experienced anything like this. Yeah. Even though it's not a bad injury. Like the boys do their ACL and stuff, like way worse than me.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing is like, you still may be contracted and you still may be able to, pay for everything and stuff. In golf, it's like when you're out of the game or if you're not
it's
playing
a different
well.
story, bro.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people don't understand that. Can you tell people about, because my understanding is like, it's a little bit like you got to play to survive to some degree,
for sure.
And there's a lot of pros out there who are busting their ass to make cuts every week. So like tell everyone about what it's like for the average golfer. Like what's a tournament like for you? Like what have you got to do to like get fucking a nice steak on the table that night,
Yeah, so first of all, I would say that...
Grass-fed beef.
Yeah. Eggs, avo, carnivore.
Results.
First of all, I'd probably say that playing golf, so say you're traveling to Denmark, right, to play a Challenge Tour event, which isn't... It's like reserve grade, but there's killers everywhere. Everyone is so good at golf. Like the depth is crazy when it comes to just professional golf around the world, right? You pay for your flight, right? And if you don't have any sponsors, which I don't necessarily have any sponsors other than my equipment deal this year. So you're paying for your flight to Europe, and then once you're over there, it's obviously a bit cheaper, but pay for your flight, say $4,000 return, whatever.
Yep.
Then you're paying for your ACOM for the week, say 1,000, hire car 500, caddy. On the main tour it was $2,000 every week.
Yeah.
And all of these things, then you pay for everything, and it's like every single week you're probably outlaying. It's like main tour is probably about $4,000 or $5,000 a week. So that's coming out, and then you're preparing from Monday. Monday's usually travel day. Tuesday and Wednesday, you see a course that you've never played before, and very tough golf course. It's like it's professional golf. What do you expect? But you prepare.
It's not Merriweather on a Sunday.
No, it's not Charlie. Like, of course, I played like 1,000 times. So you constantly in those in that Tuesday and Wednesday practice round. You're just taking in as much as you possibly can. So they're draining days. Yeah. You're trying to get used to the green speed, prevailing winds. Yeah. So many different grass types.
Bro, it's almost like you're investing in yourself for that week. Like you're putting all this money into your week.
To my point is literally like by the time Thursday comes around, you've played around Friday Arvo. If you're off in the Arvo, there's a cut line. Yeah. If you're playing really well, you're way inside that. You're looking at trying to put yourself in a position to win, right? But for the majority of the field, because there's 156 players that are playing each week and there's 60 that make the cut. If you finish 61st, you make, not only do you not make money, but you're now $5,000 down. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's definitely, we had a joke last week actually in Queensland, we were playing. Yeah. And Friday Arvo, a few of the boys were talking like, often trying to make that cut. If you're on the cut line or one outside or one inside or on it, it's like coming down the stretch, finishing Friday Arvo on the cut line is nearly, it feels like you're nearly more nervous than when you're in contention. Yeah, wow. When you're in contention,
you are in contention.
Exactly.
Well, you're just playing free, confident.
Well, you're playing free. You feel like, I remember when I won on the Aussie tour in Victoria, I actually felt like, I actually can't lose. Because this is what I've trained for. Yeah. I'm playing pretty solid, obviously. Yeah. There's TVs, TV camera following me the whole way, every shot, which means that all of my friends and family are able to experience this. What I experience every week, so to speak, everyone's engaged in this, which is great for golf. Yeah. And then, it's just like one of those things. I just remember coming down the stretch when I won thinking on that last hole, I'm like, this is like the best feeling ever. Yeah. I want to win, right? Realistically, if something was to happen, an old mate birdies the last or holes out from the bunker on the last and beats you, it's like I come second. Yeah. All right. There's an opportunity next week. I feel great. I feel confident. When you're on the cut line,
that's a different
and you're coming down the stretch, it's like it's taxing, you
it would be, man. It's like you're paying for it's like you're playing for your week. It's like I need to.
And it comes back to when you're in those situations, I'm just constantly over every shot, just trying to make the best decision and then commit to that decision, and which is extremely hard in golf, like you're always second guessing things.
Well, there's always two options. Well, a lot of the time there's two options. There's the risk and reward, and then there's the maybe more safer play.
Yeah, exactly. There's many options for every shot. So you're gonna match those to. The way you're feeling, the way you're hitting it on the day.
Would your best memory be like the Vic PGA the win? Where does Liv sit in like your?
Yeah, Liv was incredible. I would say lifting a trophy in professional golf is absolutely like that's what I want to do, and that's why I play the game. To be fair, to be in contention and win. Yeah, but Liv was pretty incredible. I'm obviously super grateful for the opportunity that I had to be in that environment. I would say. A lot of people, like most people I spoke to around, like after those events in Europe and stuff, were just the only thing people would talk to me about is the money. Yeah. And rightfully so. Like I know like last place gets money, which is crazy. There's no cuts, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I felt like they were looking at the wrong thing, eh? Like the stuff that I was getting out of those weeks were cruising around, practice round. First Monday in London, Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson.
Yeah,
gets
practice
off the
round with
jet.
him.
Yeah, play 9 holes with him and Jonesy.
That's so crazy.
And just being in that environment. Then every night, especially in Portland, every night you're having dinners and hanging out kind of thing in a room with Brooks, DJ, all of these guys, and then the Aussie boys as well. It's like it was so
bit surreal almost.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool to just see like, oh, these boys are just like a few of the boys are walking around, rolling around with their vapes and they're just normal guys,
people.
Like most of the boys having a beer every night, or a couple probably. But like, it's just such a cool environment, and to be in that environment, like what people would pay. I know people definitely at my club in Sydney would probably pay millions of dollars to experience what I experienced.
True. What do you like? What gets you out of bed every morning, but like what keeps you so gravitated to the sport of golf? Like what do you love about it? Like what makes you keep wanting to do it? Because it's such a you versus you sport where you constantly, you lose a lot, right? Because golf's a game based off loss. Like you're trying to put a ball in a hole and you're constantly missing the hole. So it's like, what keeps driving you? Is it just like the game itself, or is it
I would say like I've never been one of those guys. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Like honestly don't. But if I'm going to be honest about it, I've never been like, I obviously love the game, but some guys are obsessed with golf and that's all they know and that's all they love kind of thing. I'm a little bit more like I'm obsessed with working hard at something. And at the age of 11 or 12, I played soccer and golf at the same time kind of thing. And Dad said you had to choose one. Yeah. And, I was better at golf than soccer, and putting all my time into golf, I started to learn. What I'm saying is like I'm addicted to getting better at something and then seeing that pay off. Yeah. I guess in the last couple of years, that's probably the thing that's rattled me most is like I felt like I started to work harder and it was getting further away.
Interesting.
Which is just a horrible feeling because like my whole life it's like, or Dad's always said like, if you work hard, you will succeed. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I've got to keep working.
Is that even true anymore? Like, how true is it? Because you still got to have other components. Like, you can work as hard as you want. I remember my coach, actually, he said that to my coach, actually. Yeah. And Dad's coming from it, loving, like, the best place ever.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And then, my coach is actually like, oh, well, it's not entirely correct. Like, let's keep, like, working hard. But, there's many guys out there that actually work probably harder than Blake, like in the world. Yeah. They don't have what he has when it comes time to getting into contention and handling those nerves and stuff. So it's kind of like it is again, it's like that balance that we were talking about. So,
I reckon that's a great answer because I think you're right. I think life's all about taking on responsibility. That's what I think, and I think it's about being disciplined enough to work on something hard, challenge yourself. And a lot of people, I don't think, are capable of doing that. I think a lot of people call it quits early. And then there's a lot of people who are like searching for something to do in their life. Like they don't know what they want to do. They're not sure what they love.
Purpose.
And I think I think my advice would be just try different things, keep trying things, and you'll end up in the right place.
Absolutely.
That's what Jordan Peterson talks about a fair bit.
We love JP.
Yeah, like try something. That's the best advice that I could give. Like I remember when my sister Millie was working at the chemist. Yeah. And she was kind of just looked like she was just going through the motions, kind of like a lot of us, most humans get. Yeah. And I was like really pushed her to try something new. And it was actually funny because I spoke to Kai about that at coffee one morning. And then I asked him about support work and stuff. And anyway, long story short, Kai actually got her a job.
Yeah, that's right.
The job she's in.
Yeah, what do you do, Kai?
The job she's in now, yeah.
Man, I tell you what, actually, you've got a pretty cool story as well. You've had a crazy run. Quite a creative bloke.
Yeah.
I think I first met you when you were doing work with Kaylin and that. You were doing some photography stuff.
Yeah, I remember when, first time I was introduced to Kaylin and that, it was like, I was in Woolies.
Yeah.
Like bumming around, and Heath gave me a message at the time.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, just at the servo in Swansea, like not doing my Woolies at Swansea."
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you want to do a photo shoot today?" And I was like, like this first one, never done anything. Like, never done anything.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah." Like, what's it for? He's like, "Oh, I'm not going to be there. KP and Connor just want to meet you for a shoot for their brand."
Sitting there in Woolies, walking in his barefoot.
Okay, so you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
I've never met the boys before.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was probably like my first introduction.
Bro, that turned out cool, that shoot.
Yeah.
That was a 257 shoot, eh?
Yeah.
The shirts and that. That was cool.
But it wasn't like, and credit to those boys as well, like they're all creative and they're all like really inspiring when it comes to like creatives.
They're
that
good,
also
eh?
have a discipline in like
100%.
So it's easy for like anyone with money to go out and just be like, let's do this.
Big time.
This is cool. But
Like,
it actually,
come up
like,
with
I got out there and
ideas.
it was like so comfortable. Like they were like, you do what you want to do. Like what do you think? And like I was giving them tips in regards to like maybe a pose or like a certain place where this might work because of from a photography background. But it's like people can just shut you down for those things as well. They'll be like,
100%.
oh no, this is the creative direction we're going to go. You just stand there and do this. But I just love the process. When it comes to processes, I think Blake and I see eye to eye, and you as well. Obviously, you're doing something like this. So it's like there becomes a love and a, I think it's like a craving for processes.
Big time. Man, you know what's crazy about that? Like, this is me being fully honest too with you. If I look at like you now, who I know as a friend and who you are, and we talk and like I know you, versus like the Kai I thought I knew, the photo shoot Kai, early days. Yeah. So different. Yeah. Like, because those videos and that photos of you, you're just like a cool, creative guy, takes photos, like, sweet. But getting to know you better, you're like so much more than that. You're like a very deep guy, in touch with your emotions. I think you give great advice. I think you listen. You're really good with people. And as I said before, I think you've had some pretty crazy years, some challenges.
Yeah, and that's probably where it comes down to like, when it comes down to like being someone online and then someone in person, I always make an emphasis to leave someone with a better impression than they have already.
Yeah.
Regardless, because you know it's so quick to talk about someone.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like
it's easy
so
to judge
easy,
people, bro.
Of course,
so easy.
and that's been something that I've probably had to struggle with a lot. Like I had upbringing's like just what it is. Everyone's been through, like some people have been through worse. Mine was like a little bit challenging in certain areas, like alcohol and all those kind of things. And through that, like I was kind of looking.
I was just my knee. I just got a bit excited. Tell me more.
And
keep going. Give me another one.
Bring it up now.
I'm gonna fucking smash this on my head.
Yes, I was fine. Oh, I'll tell you what.
But bro, I wanted to ask you, because this is a few points I really want to talk to you about. Was this year you had a few goals this year?
I did have a few goals.
You had a few goals.
Yeah,
2 in particular that I knew about.
That's good. You knew about them.
Drinking and gambling.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to talk about this quickly is because something that resonates with me, for one, but two, I think a lot of young men our age, even women too,
for sure.
I think alcohol is a big issue, but I think gambling is as well. I want to know, one, what made you want to make that commitment this year? And two, what have you learned about yourself this year doing that?
Okay, so number one, I'm always been very goal-based.
Yeah.
But I found it probably like a year ago, I was setting goals and I wasn't really happy with how they were being done. There wasn't like a real process to them. It was like, oh, okay, like I'd done that. And it was later on when it wasn't really a part of like the process. And that's where it comes back to. It's like, I've met a lot of people in life that don't stick to their word.
Yeah.
And when words start to like lose meaning, you start to really lose the person and their word. Like it's hard to explain.
Almost trust
like,
as well.
100%.
If you go to like someone every single day and look for a reaction and you don't get it consistently or you don't get the same feedback, you naturally lose what your words mean. So it came to a point probably like 2 months before the start of this year. And based on the podcast I was listening to, I was like, why is it that the people that I listen to, I take their word on?
Yeah.
I've never met them, but they have accolades in which they set out for themselves. You know, like I remember like a really old school one, like Jim Carrey wrote himself $1 million check.
Yeah.
And he said like, I'm going to make it.
That's
and, like,
cool.
And then he eventually got the role in, I think it was like
Mask or something.
Yeah, it was one of the big, like one of his first ones, or Dumb and Dumber, maybe.
Dumber, yeah.
That's a great movie, bro.
Yeah, yeah, like that.
Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd.
Oh shit, that's a good
But
movie.
that's a manifestation, and that's like a commitment to yourself that you're serious about yourself.
Yeah.
I've never really had an issue with alcohol and gambling myself. Lots of people I know do.
Yeah.
And you kind of look around, and it never. There's a lots of people that would chip you on the shoulder and be like, mate, like, come on, let's pull yourself up here. Like,
Yeah.
That's a big bet.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
you're drinking a lot. Like,
Yeah.
you're drinking through the week. You're doing this.
Yeah.
And it kind of got to a point where I said to myself, do you want to be a beacon or someone that someone can turn to at your age that can genuinely talk about what they've been through?
Yeah,
It's all good
yeah,
to go
yeah.
dry July. I've been doing that for the last 5 years or whatever. Everyone can do that. That's not something like some people want to climb a mountain like Kilimanjaro. Some people want to do Everest. You got to look at it like, am I going to take the hiking advice from him? Like that's quite an easy climb if I'm going to do Everest.
Yeah.
There's some people that genuinely, I think we're going to look back in history and really look at gambling as something that was crippling a lot of young males.
Yeah.
And especially in regards to like where young males could have been, certain ones in particular, if it weren't for stricter policies on gambling.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've always been pretty passionate about, like betting small, and just kind of really understanding and looking at it like an outdoor casino. Never in history have we ever had something so accessible.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you can get that rush of getting money in to your account straight from your bank. You don't talk to a teller.
No.
You don't sign anything.
No.
It's a direct deposit into your account.
It is dangerous.
It doesn't even feel like money anymore.
It doesn't. But that's so you're raising young males around other young males to then influence like that's a okay behavior. And no one's kind of really touching on it, to be honest. Like not that I see anyway. And I'm sure there are people out there that are talking about it. Would I ban it? Absolutely not. I think it's great. Like it brings a lot of people together and it's amazing. Like I wouldn't go extreme, but I really think that there's an issue in our society at the moment when it comes to unrestricted gambling such as that. But
the thing is too, like some people, there's a group of people who have the ability to look inside and know, okay, this is an issue, I need to fix this. But the majority of people will never fix it, because they don't have the ability to look inside and want to help themselves.
Yeah, and I've always looked at it, it's like, if you don't do it, then who's going to do it? Who's going to be the person that goes a year sober in your group, out of your friends? Who's going to not drink alcohol for a year? And I made it very vocal to everyone that I was doing it. And that's the first thing about being held to your words.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I've told 20 people that really care about me and I care about them that I'm doing this. How heavy do you want your words to be?
Yeah. What impact does that have on you?
That's right. Like, what do you stand for? Do you wake up in the mirror and look at yourself and are you serious about yourself? Are you going to be someone that can be a beacon for hope for someone that's struggling? And that's kind of where advice comes in. It's not necessarily like I give advice that's great at times. It's sometimes what you need to hear. Because you
harsh reality.
Sometimes if you're in a room full of people that agree with you, then what is that? You're in an echo chamber that's telling you that, no, you're all right.
That's why some of your best friends are the ones who can have honest conversations with you and tell you things you don't want to hear. You know what's cool? Like this year, for me, a massive moment was what Ned Brockman did, right? I still can't even really comprehend, not only mentally, but more physically, how that's even possible, what he was doing. Like, and the money he's raised, the impact he's had on so many people. What are your thoughts on that this year? Like, what do you think he's done for Australia?
Yeah, I think he's exactly what Kaya has said, is he's trying to show, and he has shown many, many people, especially people, not only people of our age, but older people, younger people. Like I know my sisters, have, it's not just males. It's like, it's just, he tells that story about why he started the run across Australia.
Yep.
Right, he would always go for a run and pass the homeless guys
and
stuff.
Yeah.
and he thought, you know, run for a cause kind of thing. But he has taken it to another level, and good on him. Like, he's inspired a lot of people. And there's the cool thing about it also, in this world that we live in there, where everything's so political, mate.
Yeah.
Like, you're scared to have your opinion because there's nothing political about this. This is just complete. That's the coolest thing about this whole, you know, journey that he's on, as well as like he's staying out of all of that. I really do enjoy that.
Bro,
Absolutely.
It's been crazy. And we are in a world right now where it is pretty scary to give your opinion. It's almost like there's two different people in the world right now. There's like the ones that are just so open and they just will say what they want, and then you're like, I don't know about that. And then there's people who are just like too scared to give their opinion because they're going to be criticized.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of men right now in particular shitting themselves because they're going to be labeled as, you know,
definitely
these certain thing. It's like, I'll look at people like, you like Abby Chatfield, right?
Right.
She's obviously quite far left. Even all the comments about Trump and all that.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, like I'm not a fan of her.
No,
I'm not.
It doesn't get called out respectfully. I don't know if you're watching Abby, but no, she genuinely doesn't get called out for it because she's on the correct side. Maybe like in that world, but it's like if females are talking about, you know, what Andrew Tate has done to all the males in Australia and in the world, kind of thing. True. It's like, how is she not doing the same thing for young females?
Yeah,
like,
exactly right.
Do you really? I don't know. I'm not a female, but do you really want your young daughter looking up to this lady? Like, I'm not sure. Like,
absolutely not.
Definitely.
Someone that's going to be a dad, there is no way that I think she's using her platform in a positive way.
Yeah.
There's an act. I can't believe that what I was seeing today was someone legitimately like crying in front of a camera about something that's actually not affecting us at all right now. All it's doing is creating a new leader in a new country that we are an ally with.
Yeah.
Stop fear-mongering young females into thinking that someone is something that they're not. If Donald Trump was named Dave Potter, and if you're out there,
Potts, what's up? Potser.
But that you wouldn't even like have this whole like hush money idea. This guy's like, oh, he's a convicted felon. He's X, Y, and Z.
Oh, everyone's talking about. Joe messaged me today. He goes, "What's this about?" All the girls everyone I talk to keeps telling me that Trump's a like rapist and all this. I'm like, mate,
where
this is getting blown out of proportion.
And then you go into like, it's all good and true to have a laugh, send it and be like, oh, this girl like seriously has no idea what she's doing. Like, but what she's actually doing is creating young females who maybe don't fully understand what it is when it comes to policies, what it comes to running a country, what it comes to
assembling a team,
like,
well, you know,
and what he actually stands for. There's no abortions banned.
Yeah, I know.
If you are a female, you have the access that you need right away. He's even been mentioned that he would veto the bill. To create.
I thought he come out and said the opposite almost. He said
did.
that the federal government don't want to get involved, and
they wanted to take it to a state vote.
It's a state. We don't want to. All of the states.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out of it. I'm staying completely out of it.
Let the states decide.
And then on the other hand, well, this is super political. We're just gonna
go there.
But like,
fucking go there.
The other side, mate. Kamala, I don't think enough people realise what she was standing for. She's openly said up until 9 months you're allowed abortion. Like, I know that's one of the toughest conversations to have.
For sure.
The whole conversation about abortion, because it's so, what do you call it, polarising.
Big time. Massively.
It's nearly like, well, it's one thing to say, you know, abortions are okay for, you know, like people have that opinion. That's completely fine. Up until 9 months, like, come on, that's incredible, man. Like, that's Denny's about to have a baby.
25 weeks, exactly.
That's like, it's kind of like, that's kind of like crazy. Like, we're we're getting into
like
the,
that's why it becomes such a political thing, because you place that man who's a rapist into power, and that's all that some feminists need. Some very far left. It's not everyone.
Yeah,
it's actually such a small group, but unfortunately have a big platform to spread. That go into these and then start spreading, not saying the word, but spread information that isn't true.
Yeah,
about things that literally affect people when it shouldn't. Like Donald Trump has never said, that I'm aware of anyway.
No, I think he's actually said the opposite.
Like he's actually said, like, I don't want to keep making this a national issue. It actually takes up so much of our energy as a country to try and it's always a divide. Like, you shouldn't tell me what to do with my body. And he's actually not. But if you want to have an abortion at 38 weeks, move to a state, like maybe California or like some of these really blue no matter who states.
That's
go
right.
there and you can do that. But then it comes into like another thing where it's like, are you going to let people travel for those things?
Yeah.
And that's where
that's a whole new issue.
There's going to be weeds.
That's right.
That's why you sign up for the big job, and that's the job that he has now, is to really kind of stand on what he says and make those decisions, which...
Abortion's really tough, Alex. I'm honestly, I'm not firm either side on it, if I'm being honest. I can understand that, like, women want to have control over their own bodies. But my question that I would raise is, at what point do you need to hold that person responsible for their actions, right? Because obviously the baby just doesn't happen like that, right? So you have to have sex to have the baby.
For sure.
Let's separate the cases of obviously rape, incest, things like that.
Absolutely.
Because obviously that's all that sort of stuff. I'm all for, like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Completely okay. The thing I look at as well is, like, what about the families who've tried for babies for so long, or who can't fall pregnant? And there are a list of people who are willing to adopt, and there is a community out there who, you know, there is space for people to take on kids when they can't have them themselves. But
Donald Trump literally said that he will make IVF free.
Yeah.
What does that say? You know, like, he wants procreation.
Yeah.
Which is, like, obviously
what
a Republican.
Yeah,
that's right. Australia are at like 1.4 with the birth rate right now.
Yeah.
That's like low, like that's as low as it's ever been. And that's not to say like there's nothing that could be happening in regards to into society and communities and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that raises alarm bells, because in my belief, we are born to procreate, create strong young people, raise them up to be great young contributing adults, and then that's our job as human beings.
I think the main point that everything keeps coming back to for me, and this is where I found the middle ground with abortion, because obviously we're not females, and we get that completely. Like, it's like if it was if the shoe was on the other foot, I believe I would still have the same opinion. Yeah, but I know it would look very different.
True,
right?
there is. Yeah, that's
for
right.
most males.
That's right.
But when I've tried to find middle ground on this topic, that really, like, how much do I know? I'm just trying to learn my opinion, right?
That's all you can be.
And then I'm looking at it going, I think the worst thing about what is happening with so many of them, right, in the world right now, and many even people close to me, like, I know many people, and I'm not condemning them at all, but it would be, it's just something to think about. I think I don't believe that it should be a form of birth control. I think it's like something that if you've completely, like, you've made something crazy, like, you know, rape or incest. All of those, the 1%ers. Yeah. And then also maybe, I'm not sure if I believe it, but like something a little bit earlier on where you're like a very, very young age or something.
Yeah.
Again,
True.
I'm so far away from this topic or this opinion, but I'm like, I just don't think that it should be something so late in the
I think
kind of thing. Just because you're like, oh, who cares? Like, there's people openly celebrating, like, there's girls on TikTok, you know, like all the girls on TikTok openly celebrating how it's like in what's it liberating to, like, or, you know, empowering to have an abortion. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I understand your point. You think you should be allowed.
See, that's not good. I don't rate
That's
that.
not-
I don't think that's good
then
at all.
you've got the younger generation following. Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty crazy.
The thing I think as well is like, I don't want to be a hypocrite about it because I make bad decisions. I've made plenty of bad decisions, and like I fortunately haven't been put in that situation. And you know, you probably don't know what you would do until you are in that situation. And sometimes I think maybe I'm not prepared to bring a life into this world. But then I also think on the edge of that, it's like, well, maybe that's part of my journey that I have to bring that thing into this world because that's what I've done. Like I have to live with the decision I've made.
And
you know what I mean?
And as far as I know politically, which is not a lot to be honest, but it will never be solved.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a talking point that will divide these people and these people, just like racism, just like sexism, just like all these things.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Has it always been like this?
For
like
abortions and whatnot?
Just in general. Just the divide.
No,
like, do you think...
It's never... Mate,
like 20 years ago?
What about that? No, mate. You should see I listened to a little bit of a debate, or the first 10 minutes of a debate with like ex-prime ministers from like 30 years ago or something, and they're on stage shaking hands and like, great point. Like, they're talking to each other. That one with Trump and Kamala is... diabolical. Like
it just goes to show where the world's going, though. Like, you know what I mean? They're more interested in getting clicks and how entertaining it is.
Even on Trump's side, like most people would, after what I've said, most people would just be like, "Oh, he must just love Trump." It's not that I think he took the bait in that debate where he's just starts pointing the finger and going, "She is this, she's nothing." It's like that's not gonna, help solve the problem either.
Not
at all.
But it just
it's good. It's funny to watch. You know what I mean? It's what people want to see.
Bro, I said this the other night when he said his speech after he had won. Is he gets up there? I'm thinking, and he's pointing and he's talking with his.
Where's
hands.
Bryson?
And it's the funniest thing. I actually said to my auntie and uncle, I'm like, I just started laughing. I'm like, this is. Do you feel like we're just living in a TV show?
Yeah,
like, this is like,
sure, bro.
It's like this is genuinely made up, and I can't believe this is happening right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, no matter what you side, it happens to be that the Republican leader right now is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
True.
If Vivek Ramaswamy was there, I would be plastering him everywhere.
Yeah.
JD Vance,
Correct,
all these people that are with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They're the people I align myself with more than anything.
RFK.
Do you know what RFK, he wants
He's
to
a
make...
big one. That was cool how he... So was he an independent party and he left that? Is that what happened?
He was trying to run as a Democrat. He was literally he was trying to... His whole family, like...
His uncle and his father were both assassinated.
Literally lefties. And then, at the same time, they ran him out of the race. And then he's like, I'll try and run independent. From as far as I
that's
know,
right.
Yeah, then he couldn't, obviously...
they weren't
get
giving
the
him,
same
like,
votes
Secret
and
Service
stuff.
protection.
They weren't giving Secret Service. And then... Obviously, once he had to call it, because it's just cost him money and time, and he's like, I genuinely want to help solve the problem to this country because he loves it so much. Then he endorsed Trump, and they had a chat about him being in the health department, right?
Yeah.
And trying to make America healthy again. I genuinely think there's so much that he has said after hours and hours of listening to this guy. It's nearly like sometimes I've listened to, if anyone is listening, politics or anything, you probably have heard him. But RFK,
actually, you know what I just thought? This just popped in my mind. We live in a world right now where we're probably our fattest when we should probably be our fittest because we know the most information.
True.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's where...
which is pretty crazy, right? Because
Ozempic,
we haven't known... Like the amount of research we've been able to do up until now, we've never been able to do this much in terms of science, understanding biology, understanding diet, and
even funding for all of these things. We've never had more.
There is no pill for motivation though.
True.
You will not.
True.
I think there's a famous quote and it's like, the path.
That's why there's online trainers and shit
are created to be pretty.
Yeah.
Where the journey to heaven is going to be hard.
So are we becoming more unmotivated?
That's what.
Are we losing motivation?
I think.
Are we becoming lazier?
Bro, to circle it back,
dependent.
This is where it comes back to Ned Brockman. It's nearly like he is kind of showing us. It's like it's not meant to look pretty, mate. My
Yeah.
feet are broken.
Cooked.
My toenails are falling off. Like
Yeah.
that's, but the feeling inside that I have right now is you can't pay for
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
nearly like that is kind of it's like, you know, hard work.
It's crazy how the hardest things in life are sometimes the most rewarding.
Yeah,
like the
absolutely.
things you despise doing, that 10K run, that extra calorie, that extra watt. Like
That's also
the hardest things are like the best things for you.
That's what I think Jordan Peterson also, I've listened to him speak on having a family and stuff. And he's like, your life isn't going to be easier. It's actually going to be harder.
Yeah.
But it's more rewarding and you have more purpose. You know?
What did you think of the ban on the kids with phones under 16? Did you see that
Yeah.
in Australia? I put up a poll on my story because I was like,
what was the...
it was interesting, bro. It was interesting. I'll read some responses. A lot of the responses were from people I think probably a slightly older demographic. So they were obviously, you know, this is a great idea, this and that.
Right.
But let's be real. Even if they did that, the kids are going to find a way around it, bro.
Absolutely,
like the way you can get VPNs now, you can like. I just think
you can.
You probably can't go backwards now. I think if you try and get kids of social media, and the other thing too is the way the world's moving with jobs and learning, like you just have to sort of be on it. Otherwise, you're sort of going to get left behind.
I haven't thought too deeply about my opinion on it. I have seen it. I nearly think that it's like we need to equip children, not shelter them in a way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If there was a ban, it wouldn't be a big thing. Like, I wouldn't be against it or for it. It would just be like, yeah, whatever. But why wouldn't we just keep equipping? What's that
Equipping?
word? Equipping.
Yeah.
Equipping.
Crypto?
Talk about Bitcoin.
Crypto? Bitcoin?
Giving the children or the teenagers, should I say, the tools to adapt to it.
Yeah.
And they'll be better off. Because when they turn 17, they're just going to walk into fire.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. That's
all
right.
ex-bullies and stuff. It's like, I remember, I'm pretty sure Gags actually told me something about, and it's probably the way that Kaylin has to handle a lot of this stuff too on social media is at their level. It's like you can't take the good if you don't
take the bad. Yeah, you got to take the good, the bad.
It's like, and with the kids, I know it's on a way smaller scale, but like, yeah, kids can be pretty vicious. You know,
it's always hard. Like it's going to come down to a parent's choice.
Yeah,
you don't have to give them anything.
Yeah, true.
It's not forcing everyone to get onto it.
Yeah.
True.
But at the same time, I find it ironic that it's now that it's being imposed.
Yeah.
Elon buys Twitter, you get some different ideologies about what the world might look like, and then all of a sudden there needs to be a ban on young males.
Yeah.
Or like young females, young people. Or we need to be careful of what they're saying. So it's like, I don't really want to watch in the project with Waleed, with all due respect, because he's a crumb and I can't stand him.
The project. I watched that ages, bro.
If you crumbs, man.
Crumbs
Can't
on the
stand
project.
What about the other day on the panelist? This like chick's just looking at the cameras and just like blinking and sounds. So, Waleed, you're there, and what's your guess for the result? And he's just like 2 words. Kamala Harris. Bro, you're on a green screen in Melbourne, I know. Like, don't act like you've got it. There's so much more going on than the big White House behind you. Yeah. Like, stop being a crumb. And it's just so like, it's just continually telling young people like, oh, Kamala Harris, like she's got that, you know, Donald Trump doesn't have this pizzazz. And all the polling, if you wanted to go to like actual independent polling, it was never close.
Yeah.
Never close. The thing on CNN was like, oh, Kamala won like these couple of, he's struggling in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. And it flips red. But, and then it just goes red. And then it's just like, you never know. You're always just led to believe, Kamala just missed. And he ended up getting like 315.
It is pretty crazy though when you think of the media and that it's like why is older people are picking up on this now, which is usually where you see like that's where I've seen most people, most of the older generation kind of just stick to the news and they just come out with the anti-Trump stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I said this to my uncle the other day, is like, you show me what information you're taking in regards to what media outlet you're watching, and I'll show you who you're voting for. You know what I mean? Because it's nearly like you don't have a choice. You nearly psyoped into like, wait, Trump's a rape? Like, they're not going into this independent. It's all funded by someone, you know.
For sure. Anyway. I think that's one of the biggest things is, especially over the last year and a half, like without, like I've been spending a lot of time reading books and podcasts, and it's people just need to inform themselves and like always be open to two sides of a conversation.
Yeah.
Never in history has it worked that you listen to one side and not the other.
Yeah.
Just like any conversation, you ask for advice, you want to hear something other than, obviously something's not working. Like why do we have...
I wonder what's next, bro, because something's going to happen. I feel like, I don't know what, but I feel like something's going to happen. I don't know what, but there's so much uncertainty, rage.
I think there's a mass awakening of
free thinkers. I thought you guys had a mass war. I was like, fuck it.
I believe.
We're all fucked.
I think...
When it comes to young people,
I understand. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. But to your point, I know what you're thinking. It kind of is dark. It's pretty dark.
For sure.
The only thing is,
I know, but there has to be another war. Like,
you can be.
I think there's got to be something.
Curious about it, but it's like there's a point of like diminishing returns with it. It's like I nearly look. I like what PBD talks about is like the future looks bright. Like be optimistic because that most people there's the people. The people, put it this way, the people that are causing these crazy things to happen, I believe, they don't want you to be optimistic and happy about the future.
No. Fear sells. Just like every huge media outlet, whenever you ever read something that's been positive in the news and you've clicked on it.
Bro, you know what I know politics is like, just like we don't know much about it kind of thing. Yeah. Realistically.
Yeah.
But I would love to see you...
I think you say I know fucking everything. I was like...
Yeah, exactly. No, I would love to see you have just a girl, like a nice girl that completely thinks the opposite of you in a lot of areas. Yeah. And just be able to sit down.
Have a chat.
Because you're just normal, like you're going to be friendly, you're going to be... And just try and understand the way she thinks because... For me, I love listening to podcasts where I'm like, I disagree with someone. Yeah. And then I agree a lot with, feel like I have a lot of the same values as Patrick Bet-David.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I listen to him a lot. And I love when he has someone that is completely on the other side of the aisle with everything. Yeah. And I just see the way he asks questions and interviews them. Yeah. And you start to understand, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. And it's not bad or it's good. It's just they have been taken in this sort of information or whatever it may be. I'm not sure. But like you start to, it's like there's a lot more compassion there. And bro, for what you're doing, with the podcast here, the people listening benefit because now you're bringing that open discussion to some
definitely.
But I know politics is one of those things. It's like not many people like to talk about it, so I understand.
But people want to learn.
Oh, for sure. I want to learn.
I found myself wanting to learn more, and it happened to be politics, obviously, because it's such an unraveling drama. Which it's
especially right now.
Exactly. Like in the last, you knew that this year was going to be so huge, and I wanted to be all over it to hopefully get a good understanding in my history till I'm an old man of what happened. Because we're going to look back in time and be like, 2024, this is either a massive failure on Donald Trump and his presidency, his second term. Yeah. Or we go into X, Y, and Z wars, like everything that's always been thrown around. Or it literally resolves all the problems we're seeing today as a young 20-year-old in a society that everyone's struggling around. You know what I mean? It's hard to buy a house. It's hard to make repayments. It's actually hard to think about starting a family because you actually have to.
It's hard to move in with your missus. Me and Blake have just moved in with their missus.
Yeah, that's right. And
so that's been a process, bro. It's been a process.
No, Blake's not here. How's it been?
Honestly, it's actually been so good. Like she actually is. I've said to a few people, I was like, she's actually like killing it. Like she's organised. She helps me with a lot. And I was like, I wonder how long this is going to last. And then like the guys at work are like, mate, don't worry, it'll wear off. And I'm like, she's making my lunches for me. I wake up, she makes me a smoothie. Like,
how nice is that?
Bro, it's pretty nice. Like going for a living with Kaylin, who's like flat out like give me some of his toothpaste. Like I feel like to pay him to borrow his toothpaste. To Samar, who like does their groceries, like
That's why you never take it any further than the day you have.
nah.
I think you need to be so grateful for what you have
Definitely,
at any
definitely.
one time. Like
It's hard to do that though.
For sure.
It's so easy to look ahead
Yes.
and compare.
in regards,
But you're right, you do.
I think back to like what we we're talking about before in regards to alcohol and decision making and clarity and thinking. Like that's the one thing that I would happily go sober for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I don't actually want to drink again.
Yeah.
And like a year's cool. I'll celebrate it. But like in regards to how like confident I am when it comes to like how crippling anxiety was,
Yeah.
especially with drinking, and whatever you do while you're out drinking, it can just be you actually never fully like as much as Tuesday, Wednesday's foggy, Thursday's great, Friday.
Yeah.
You actually aren't clear if you dedicate and you take yourself serious enough to really want to change the way you think and how you look at things.
Yeah.
You have to do a year without it.
Bro,
Not obviously a year. Sorry, that's lost.
you know what's
Oh,
You go,
could
you
I
go.
just ask him one question?
Of course,
I
mate.
was just gonna say, what were you mentioned the anxiety, like because when I hardly ever drink. So,
Yeah.
but when
That's
I
something
do,
we also clicked on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't. It's not a part of my environments too much.
Yeah.
But I was just asking, like, what were the downsides for you drinking? Because I haven't had that many. I don't do it much. But like for you, what made you, other than inspiring people, like
Yeah.
what did you feel? What I'm trying to say,
What did I feel?
the next day.
Yeah.
real fucked up.
Yeah. I think looking back on it, I felt like it started my weeks more than it ended it. I think it was really ruining the way you look at it. Is it's a celebration on the sad day
Yeah.
of you actually not really doing much through the week.
Yeah.
I think you want to tell yourself you got like a few false idols where you've had the hardest day at work. Like I'm struggling. Like
Yeah.
behind
Get
a
me into
computer desk,
Saturday.
like far out. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing worse in the world than working in an aircon office
Yeah.
right now, like
Yeah.
punching numbers out.
Yeah.
But you start that's where the brain is such a powerful thing.
That's true, eh?
It is incredibly powerful when it comes to like being aware of how little you actually might be doing to better yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing for me. Like how serious are you taking yourself? Like are you being the best person? Like I don't want to be someone that, like, oh, dad's out doing this or dad and mum aren't spending much time together. Like what I saw when my parents broke up and what I had to go through and like how pivotal my nan was, how much I looked after my brothers and sisters, which is like I sacrificed like just a lot of time that I would never change ever again.
Yeah.
Like what I learn't and what the bond we have right now is you can never break it.
Yeah.
But like during those times, it's like you really have, I had like a really like awakening of like, this is what you will do.
Yeah.
It's not even I didn't have a thought of like, oh, you're going to do it. It was just
There's
like
no
one
option.
night and the goals that I created for myself, I have signed under my computer desk in my office and I have them dated and I signed them. And I said that next year when I highlight them off, this is going to be one that 100% of these are going to be ticked off. And at the moment it's at 95%. So it's like, it's not even like,
100%. No, that's so good. It was like a pivotal moment.
It is, yeah. And I think everyone will have their moment in their life, whether people have it when they're 70, whether they have it when they're 60, when they're like 30, 20.
I want to know a question, boys. I have a question. I want to know an answer.
I wouldn't answer.
When is the right time to move in with your missus? Just quickly. Like, because for me, this was it was a big moment for me, right? Felt like it was the closing of a book, but the opening of a new book.
For sure.
Blake's going through this now.
Congratulations,
He's just
by
moved
the
in.
way.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. So Blake's just moved in with his missus too. So I keep saying it, and he goes, "Oh,
Mate, I have.
He's got his
not
Mrs.
moved
shirt
in.
on as well.
I have not moved in.
he's not moving."
Are you in? You're a Weber.
It's
I've got a
nice. It
Weber.
is nice though.
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But to your point,
When is the right time to move in with your
moving-
missus?
it was so funny, bro. First of all, we'll put that question aside for a sec.
Yeah.
Bro, talking to Bailey about it, he's like, bro, and I'm talking to him. We're talking about like financially. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
we rent this thing out, bro. You'll be ahead in this many years, blah,
Yeah,
blah, keep it in the car. And then it come down to it, he's like, bro, it's pretty tough. Like, it'll be end of an era for Kalen and I. Bro, like, end of an era. Like, bro, come on. Like, he's just sinking. I'm just cracking up. Like,
No, but I'm
is
sure
so
there's definitely blokes out there who I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is a hard commitment because
I think you know.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
I think it's
true. I knew.
You did it because
you
you
do
believe
know.
that is something that, like,
I felt like I was ready.
Are
It just
sometimes
happens.
uncomfy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to. That's about being a man.
True.
Sometimes
Man
you
up,
have to
have
like
the
make a
conversation.
commitment. There's not enough.
It's like I couldn't even call Kalen and be like, I think I'm moving out. I like texted him some shit that made no sense. And he called me. He was like, are you trying to fucking tell me you're moving out? I was like, what? Yeah, I think I am.
Like, I'm like moving my clothes.
He's like, bro, you can just tell
away.
me. I was like,
I
it's
think
been.
for me, sorry to cut you off, bro.
Right.
For me, it actually is like, it may not seem like much to anyone else, but I think it's probably one of the major commitments for some reason. Like,
It
I
is.
just have this feeling of like, it's like, respectfully, like when I was younger, I'm not moving in with like you're not moving in with a 15-year-old girlfriend.
No,
do you know what I mean?
that's
like
right.
You're not 100% on marriage.
That's right.
And then I start looking at that, even things with Bonnie and I, and we speak about it all the time, is like a commitment. It's like for me, it's personally, it's like going to be a lifelong commitment.
Oh, bro. And I'm like, my biggest fear is like getting too comfortable. I'm like, I said to Samara, I'm like, man, I got to keep doing this shit. Like, I got to keep training. Like, she's bought a lolly jar and shit. And I my fingers keep going into that lolly jar. I'm like, this is not good, man. Karen calls me and says, you're getting comfortable sleeping in the mornings. Because we do, like, every morning we go to the beach, you know.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, I got a bit emotional. this is so funny. I got a bit emotional when we were like driving off for the last time. I was like with him and I was like, it's like the end of an era, bro. Like, you know, because I moved here, me and him. Like, he was the only person I knew when I moved here. Like, I knew no one.
When was that?
Massive.
3 years ago.
Massive.
We lived
Is
together.
that right?
Yeah, I only knew him. Moved here. And I've always I've always knew that I've had him there for me. You know what I mean?
for
Like,
sure. 100%.
I've always got one person I know at least. But now it almost felt like that was ending a little bit. But you sort of forget like how many friends I've made here. Like, I've got a lot of friends through the gym, through your family, you know, you boys.
And bro, you
Definitely.
can always go and have sleepovers. Like,
True.
I'm sure you'll find a better Kalen's house. You won't be on the lounge. No, you'll have it
I'll
on
have like
suite.
16 spec. Sort it in my room.
got a mattress.
Oh, do I have to stay here? Do I?
Virtual golf.
The spare ensuite. Yeah.
Fine. All right.
Dang it. That's a big move, bro.
Yeah,
That's
it
a big
is.
move. And I understand. I'm just taking the piss out of you, like, because I obviously have never been in that position. But coming from your perspective is like, that's a massive thing.
It was.
Especially with how close you boys actually are.
Yeah, definitely.
Mine was like effortless. My partner.
Yeah.
She is. I couldn't ask for anyone better in my life.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm gonna
nice,
die
man.
loving her. She
Yeah.
is the best person I've ever met when it comes to like opposite. Like, if that was a guy, well, that's
it.
That's the straw you've drawn.
Yeah. You got this up in your.
Not on top.
That's so funny.
Are you giving or taking? What are you doing? Are you giving or taking?
Oh, whatever
What
fits
are
the
you?
shoe. Yeah. How many reds?
Hang on,
do
does
you
that
have?
even answer the question? Are you giving or taking?
Am I
Whatever.
underneath or am I underneath or am I on top? I don't know. I guess we'll never know because I'm never going to be there.
True.
But honestly, like, taking it serious, believe it or not, she's beautiful, and I think you'll know just with any male, and you will know deep down. Like, you'll find someone, and if you don't, you'll find it later on. Like,
no, honestly, I am very happy.
it's a massive leap, and everyone's situations are different.
Yeah.
Like, no one's got the same thing. You know,
True.
like, I've been out of home since I was 18.
Yeah, true.
Like, so I've never really had like an uncomfortable part where it's like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do it. Like, I'm pretty happy where I am.
True.
It's always
It's just like, boom,
it
this
was
will work.
effortless.
This will
Like,
work.
you and I are together. We've made a commitment that we want to do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
And like, but everyone's different.
And
That's
by
cool.
the way, that feeling that you have about, you know, not wanting to get comfortable is like, That's amazing, bro.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what- I hope you.
It's
feel
actually
like
my
that.
biggest fear in life.
Yeah, because it's
To be
like,
honest,
no,
it's
but
like
that's the exact same as
I think we all
many,
share
many
that.
people
Yeah.
that have
Yeah.
similar beliefs. I would say is that like that's just showing you that you're going to be hopefully in 20 years time you're going to be in not
Doing
only
something.
good shape.
Yeah,
not only
yeah,
good
yeah.
shape. We're talking about being in shape, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like mentally, physically, everything.
Yeah.
It's like your relationship. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to get lazy.
Nah.
That's a great
Nah,
premise.
it's
for,
definitely
like-
my biggest fear, I think.
that's a good fear.
Scares the shit out of me.
I don't think it's something. I think it's something you crave.
Yeah.
I think you need to look at it differently. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
crave being uncomfortable. Like,
But it's like it's balanced too, though, right? Because there are moments where winding down and relaxing and having
Oh,
that
yeah,
time is
chuck
really
in-
nice. But
Chuck in a pillow and sit in the lounge.
yeah. Sit down,
Just mellow. Just
have a tea,
no, I'm the opposite. I cannot do those lip pillow things.
bro. They're hectic, eh?
Can't do them. Will not do them.
Joe loves them.
I suck.
Joe
Loves them.
It's so funny.
He's in the taut
No, I
spoon
think
normally.
it's like, to be fair, like every man has a vice, you know.
Oh, that's right,
Can't
bro.
be perfect.
I-
that's what I thought of when you said winding down. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone's just got and
True.
again, it's like the gambling thing. It's like
True.
the
Yeah,
alcohol thing.
absolutely.
It's like all of it.
How
is-
many vices do you need?
Um,
Well, that's the biggest thing because you
Yeah.
you attach yourself to vices that you look for like when things are too tough. Like,
Do you
oh
know
no, like
what?
I'm gonna look to this. Oh, I'm gonna look to that.
I think the answer is like you shouldn't need a vice. Yeah.
No, I
But
for sure.
you may have one.
But and that's when it comes to like how much is accessible for me.
Yeah.
Like how bottle-os were never shut during COVID.
yeah.
That's nuts to me.
Sky Racing was
you
never
sh-
fucking
Yeah,
shut.
no.
They
Randwick
pumped
Race Course was never shut, bro.
because they're
think
vices.
about the government, how much money they made.
Yeah.
Nothing operating during
They
COVID.
shut gyms. You
Bro,
couldn't go to the beach.
and they've got Toowoomba Race 2 on a
Yeah.
Friday arvo. I'm sitting
And
there
I'm
going,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just have $10 on
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
a roughie.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the boys are trying doing push-ups in the garage because they can't get on the bench press.
True.
It's funny, like in hindsight, how it is to laugh back on those times.
Oh, bro.
But if you understand how crazy it was that once upon a time you couldn't do things.
Crazy, eh?
Yep.
So crazy.
Never seen it in our lifetime. We never will.
Nah.
And we're going to tell our kids a lot of
And
things.
I've
like
still
that.
got like
It was
I'm still
illegal.
waiting for a third head to come out from that vaccine,
Yeah.
bro. Because like
I'm growing one.
something's gonna happen. So
right here.
Right,
But it
let's-
was once upon a time. It was illegal for me to see my girlfriend in Sydney.
Yeah, true.
That's
We had-
pretty
had to-
hectic. eh?
Like you used
Crossing
to have.
borders
do you
and
remember?
shit?
Yeah, if you got pulled over and you said, "Are you traveling for work? You
That's
can't
right.
freely."
That's right.
What do you live in if you can't freely travel
The
somewhere? in your
loosest thing
own-
you could do during
in
that
your own
time was
state.
like cross the border when you shouldn't. Like,
No, and
You're a dog. If
yeah,
you do that.
yeah. Go into
you,
Queensland.
you can exercise for 30 minutes.
Yeah, true.
And we all sat like puppies and we're like, "Yep, sure, no worries."
True.
Yeah.
So there's so many more things to look into when it comes to like, I know it's a touchy subject,
Yeah,
but
I
like
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
in hindsight, like what you go through and then like what we come out on the other side from is like, wow.
Have you seen the movie Divergent, where they put the needles in their neck and they all follow orders?
No,
Okay,
but that
doesn't
was
matter.
that was where we were.
That was us.
That was me.
Let's gonna finish up with a little segment, boys. Presented by half of my bottle of Elephant in the Room.
Ooh.
It's a segment of called Red Light, Green Light. There's not that many questions, boys, but you've just got to tell me if it's like an ick or not a nick, or
Do I
like
have a buzzer?
if it's a go or not a go. You both get to answer when you want.
I'm gonna say Blake for my buzzer.
Red light, green light. Wearing socks to bed.
Red light.
Red light.
No
Get
good?
a grip.
Red
you need to
light.
feel the bed. You wear socks all day.
That makes you hot.
Makes me feel sick. Makes me clemmy.
Jay?
I don't even want to talk about it. Next
Okay,
question.
that was terrible.
Is that no? Sorry.
What do you do?
what's
Hang on, did I
yours?
write that?
What do you do?
Hang on, I'll just backspace that.
Do you take your socks off? Oh,
Um,
they're off now. You need it.
nah, it's a red light, boys.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
red light.
For
so-
sure.
it's definitely red.
I can't do that.
Red light, green light. Reading your partner's text messages.
Negative.
Yeah,
That's a red.
Is that a bit of toxicity
Yeah,
happening?
It's red.
Trust issues? Yeah. I'm with you, boys. Red light.
That's when you know you've met someone too.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
True.
You
yeah.
have.
We've
you
all
know,
been there, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
To
in
some
past,
degree,
Absolutely.
maybe
you know?
past relationship.
Yeah,
And you'll learn.
we've-
Every young male will learn.
Yes.
Unless you're one of those people that met in like year 7.
Yes.
You're a sicko.
Yes, it's true.
What is going on in that?
High school lovers, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Red light, green light, re-gifting a present that you've received.
Green
Have you ever
light.
done that? Be honest.
Sure.
I've definitely,
Really?
I've definitely done that,
Absolutely.
which is terrible.
I've never done that.
I've been given gifts, like unwrapped them and then re-wrapped it and given it.
Bro,
to
I'm
other
on the
people.
same
Is that
day.
fucked?
That's
I'm not
so
having that. Bang, straight over him. I'm not taking that.
I mean, I've never done it.
Yeah.
Have a.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro. Look, what about the little pack where you get like the body soap?
Fuck, man. No.
That's
That's crazy.
yeah.
yeah,
That's
no, I'm
definitely-
massive on re-gifting.
I'm for that.
Like, am I going to do it to the same bloodline? No, because it's a bit etch. Like, they're like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that before.
Yeah.
But all for it. Like, I'll find shit in my car and it's like, woo.
Yeah,
that hasn't
that's
been
a
used.
gift.
Yeah,
That's a gift.
That's going back in the gift bag.
Red light, green light, splitting. This is pretty basic. Splitting a bill on a first date.
Ooh.
No, that's red light.
No,
Red light?
I'm taking red light only because I've transferred adequate money to pay for the dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
Meaning,
Wait.
I don't really feel like looking over and my card declining or something. Or do you
True,
mean like
true,
a
true,
pre-arrangement
true,
of
true,
splitting?
true.
No,
Because-
wait.
No, I know what you're
It's a
saying.
date, right?
I'm saying first date with a girl.
Nah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
paying
No, I'm
every
paying the bill.
time.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, of
paying every
course.
time.
Paying?
Sorry.
Even-
Yeah, I thought you
What
meant
if it's a really bad date?
Oh, man.
fuck, you gotta be.
What if it's
you gotta be
like a
gentleman,
punish? Like the
Nah,
first
you
questions
still-
he
you
says
still
is, "I hope
gotta-
you're a
you
fan of
eh?
Kamala."
How far
Like,
into?
Yeah, no.
How far in? We've got entrees. Like, I'll pay the entrees.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You just gotta have the wine
I
and
think
go.
that's where you just kind of like you sit down. And
No,
you're,
it's a farewell gift. Like you just
Okay,
I've-
you're closing that
tap
ball.
on the shoulder.
Yeah,
great
I've
mate.
learned
you're texting
something.
him in the Uber
I
home
think
going,
that-
"That was fun, but we probably are not compatible."
regardless, I've
bit-
learned something from this interaction because
Yeah.
half the time I'm uncomfortable being here,
Yeah,
which was me and anxiety. I was like, this is out of my comfort zone. So
Yeah.
for you being here and putting up with me sweating under my
True,
armpits and like
true,
looking at your
true.
shoulder,
Put
you
that
get-
card away.
I'm-
I'm fucking paying
You
for
get
that.
yourself a rib sirloin and you fucking
The most-
you get yourself
I'll get the
something
lobster.
nice. Yeah.
I'll get the fish.
Take
yeah.
a bottle to go, darling.
What about red light, green light? Bringing up politics on a first date.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I think it's just green light, baby. No, I think you're gonna be sensible
I
and
actually
like
think,
see where it goes.
I think politics, a lot of it leads to. I probably wouldn't talk politics, but maybe or values.
Yeah. True.
I think if
That's
you're
too-
You know-
that's
you know
on
why
the
I
right
bring-
date, everything should be on the table.
Well, you know why I bring this up? One of my good mates, Josh. You've met Josh.
Right,
I don't
yeah,
think you've
yeah.
met Josh. He went on a date the other night, and the date was going amazing all night. And then they got towards the end, and she brought up like the Trump stuff, and she's massive Kamala for like anti-Trump, and Josh is like big on Trump, and he reckons
Right,
it went
dodged a
dead.
bullet.
He reckons it went dead silent for like 3 minutes.
Because you can't really hide that. You can't.
Nah, and
dance
he was
around
like, I didn't know what to do. He's like, I didn't know whether to fake it or like, he was like, I was just honest about it.
Good on him.
But apparently, like, it all went well after. But he
Oh,
reckons, like, for a few minutes, it was like,
How
get
cool
me
is
the
that?
fuck out of here.
But
Yeah.
that's where you stick
That
to
is-
what you.
Yeah, you got
You've got to
to.
be yourself.
Got to.
Because that's only
That's
going to
tough,
cause
though.
actually.
It is
That's
tough.
Like,
Yeah, you got to be.
Because at what point does
fractures
it become
down
a
there.
deal breaker, though? Because having those opposing views at significant levels can cause some serious issues.
I
Yeah.
believe it's a complete deal breaker.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
Because once you go back on all the values and beliefs below, I know politics can be corrupt and stuff, but below each candidate or party or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you
yeah.
call it, is like
I think it is a deal breaker as
yeah,
well.
raising kids and
But
stuff.
that's
as well.
that is why you get into politics.
True.
As a male, I
Yeah.
believe,
We'll
especially
touch
if
on
you.
it at least.
Yeah, that's right. It's not
Yeah.
like you have to study.
Sorry,
it and-
Bailey, go on.
Green light, red light. Talking on speakerphone in a public place.
Holy.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, what are you up to? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's.
I would probably say red light. Got the headphones
bit
on or
rude.
something.
I think it's big day energy.
Yeah.
You don't. You just keep it to yourself.
What about if you're on the putting green, just
Like
slam the
it's-
phone
it's-
down? What was that, mate? I'm just making a putt.
It's probably your brother.
Nah, red
like-
light, red
This
light.
is
Yeah,
a good
red.
one. This is what I'm fucking very good at.
I'll be
Is
caught
leaving
doing
a
that.
social gathering without saying goodbye.
That's green light.
Smoke
all day.
bombing.
I am the smoke bomb of the
That's all I
century.
do.
Talk me through your best smoke bomb. Like, what are you
Oh,
doing?
I'm just
Out of
dropping
there.
one wherever I want. Like, I'm not looking for a time. Like, I'm just like, yeah, check the phone, and then you're just slowly like out the back of the crowd, and you're like, yeah, I'm back door, and yeah, and then people like catch you like, hey, where you going? And you're like, yeah,
I'm just the old, I'm going to get a drink. Do you want one?
yeah.
And just gone.
That's
I-
so good.
I've haven't been a massive drinker, so it's always been like, I'm just
True.
leaving.
True. Yeah,
I'm going.
I'm just going.
This is draining.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
9
out.
o'clock and I'm done.
I'm like, I feel like I'm nearly just. I've done it that many times. I do it every time.
Yeah,
But like
yeah, yeah.
anytime I'm like a little bit off it, and then I'm going up. I've been many times at the beaches. You're going up to get another drink, and you're standing up there, and I look at the door. I'm like, what am I doing here? Like,
Look at the bar. Look at the door.
Yeah, you just walk.
Look at the
out,
boys.
go and get
Bar,
some
Yeah, you
boys,
might be
door.
on like
Hang
just the brink of pissed, and then you're like, ooh, I don't really need another beer, and then you backdoor it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to finish on a good one, boys. This has come to me late in the piece. Red light, green light, telling your partner they've put on weight.
Green light.
Reckoned?
100%.
I think you have to be honest. Yeah. I have a girlfriend that's pregnant right now.
Oh, true.
Yeah, maybe not in that.
So I got to be
Fuck.
careful.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just,
But no,
that's
I
good
think-
weight.
I think it should. No, I don't mean to say it like in a rude way. I
Yeah,
just mean,
yeah.
I just mean I think that if the shoe was on the other foot, on the other foot, like
Yeah.
we were talking about, getting comfortable.
Yeah.
I've told Bonnie many times, like, you tell me.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
tell
yeah.
me. If
100%.
that's me, I want you yelling at me. I'm not going to yell at you, but you yell at me.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, something you need to establish early on in a relationship.
You do.
Like, do you appreciate critical feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's also some people that don't really love the fact that the person they really love and trust is telling them that they're not looking great.
Completely
Because then
agree.
it turns into
Completely
like
agree.
it turns
Yeah.
into something bad.
True,
And then you're like,
true.
shit, I don't want to be the source of it. So personally, I think it's something you got to sort out early, and like you'll naturally do it through conversation as a human, where you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that didn't go really well."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's well said. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that
Good
was
way.
way better than
Good
me.
way. This is the exact same
Dude, I
thing.
sound like an idiot.
He's had some of that wine. That's
Can
what
I
it is.
finish with something?
Of course, mate. I don't want.
About
I don't
green
want to finish my
lights.
podcast. I
Talking
want
about
you
green
to.
lights. This is if anyone hasn't read Green Lights from Matthew McConaughey, I'd go read it.
Yeah.
I think
Wow, is it
it's what-
actually called? What are the fuck are the chances of being called green lights after
Yeah, I
that
know.
segment?
It's kind of crazy that you
I didn't
brought
even
that
mean to
up.
fucking do that.
Yeah, I didn't come in
fuck,
here and
that's
read
real.
your notes before.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's one of the books that kind of helped me in regards to like motivation and like understanding like when things might seem bad but they're actually good.
Yeah.
Like you can find good in a
Did you bring
situation.
this?
No, this is a book that I was just looking
Oh
at
shit!
on the
Yeah,
bookshelf
right.
before.
Have you actually read it?
What did you? Is there anything that
Have
you
you read
found
it?
valuable?
Oh, heaps times.
Really?
There's even a bigger bonus, boys. If you get the audio book, it's Matthew McConaughey's voice. It's like
Hey.
Oh fuck!
All right.
Right. I will take that. I'll be downloading that. Might even just download his voice or something. But there's a quote in the book that says, "The arrow doesn't seek the target draws the arrow. We must be aware of what we attract in life because it is no accident or coincidence. The spider waits in his web for dinner to come. Yes, we must chase what we want, seek it out, cast our lines in the water, but sometimes we don't need to make things happen. Our souls are infinitely magnetic."
Yeah. Wow.
That's deep. I
That's
like it.
crazy. That's crazy that the book's green light and we were just doing a
Green
segment called
lights.
green light, red light.
I think this book, in regards to like easy
Did we write that
reads,
book?
is an awesome book. Like anyone can
Shit.
read this book.
I might need to read that book. That might wrap up the episode, guys. Bailey
Thanks for having
Talks.
me. That was
Hey, thanks for
awesome.
coming on, boys.
That was
I
really
appreciate
fun.
it. That was good fun.
Also,
Next
I think,
Wednesday.
quickly,
Go.
I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and
Thank you, mate.
on behalf of
Appreciate
I think
it.
Blake as
Yeah,
well, I think
absolutely.
we really want to see you succeed. I think
Thanks,
you've
mate.
got such great motivation, and I think your vision for the podcast, yeah, green light, baby.
Well, I'm still a bit fucking
I think
confused how-
what you're doing is amazing, and
Yeah.
with the dedication and motivation that you hold yourself to, and the values and beliefs that you have in yourself, I think you're going to be very successful in whatever you choose to do. And yeah, I just wish nothing but the best for you.
Encourage
Appreciate
you to
that.
keep going, eh?
Appreciate that.
And I
Yeah,
think
it's
with
crazy. It's one of those
the
things,
amazing
hey.
media team as well. I think
Yeah, Jay's
you're
cool.
doing everything the right way.
Yeah,
And
it's good
I think
fun.
open conversations, long conversations, they're always going to trump anything.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Nah, I'm enjoying it, boys. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much.
Bailey Talks. We'll speak to you soon. Next Wednesday, this will be out. Go watch. Go
watch
it. Go listen to
Boring
Green Light.
watch.
by Matthew McConaughey. I actually might read this. I don't know yet. We'll see.
You
how we
should
go.
read it, honestly.
Hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll see you around. Peace.